Hey guys, I hope that everyone is still having a great semester despite everything that's going on, and that everything is going well, and that everyone is happy that it's almost over. Today I'm going to be talking to you about recycling and how society and public policy has us viewing it versus how it actually is. Or I'm mainly going to be viewing it from the state of Florida's perspective versus rather the entire country or another state, considering we live in Florida, and more narrowly down to Orange County, considering that is where we are based out of. So let's get started.
Recycling is a concept that has been around for many years, and was actually a movement that was favored a lot in American wars, and how American citizens could help support the effort. Propaganda would encourage individuals to save their household items and other items from personal use for materials to be used in the war. From melting down statues during the Civil War to use for bullets, to housewives saving grease to use for explosives in World War II, they saw these actions of reusing materials to help the wartime effort. However, recycling and how we think of it today didn't actually get started until the 1970s, when American citizens actually began to realize that the environment was something that we needed to protect, and it was actually something the average citizen could do from home. This is also when the symbol for recycling we know today emerged as well. It was a design created by a college student in a competition sponsored by the Container Corporation of America. It wasn't until the 1980s, though, that the curbside pickup program was developed that we are all very familiar with in today's day and age.
So, to sort of talk about how recycling made its appearance in Florida, it really didn't start to gain momentum until the late 1980s with the passage of the Solid Waste Management Act. And basically, landfills were a huge issue in Florida at the time. They required a lot of money to maintain and sustain and to build, which was a huge issue to our governmental budget. And also, we weren't able to conserve and preserve natural Florida land when we were using a good majority of it to build landfills. So this act basically said we need to have a better way to maintain our waste, and also really introduce recycling to our state, and also said that we need to better conserve our land. We can't just keep using it to build landfills. This act also separated each of the Floridian counties and said, you guys are responsible for, your citizens reducing their waste, and you guys have to reduce your waste by at least 30% by 1994. And the county succeeded, and they did such a great job that the Floridian government wanted to give us an even bigger goal and wanted to have a 75% recycling goal for the state by 2020. They were able to sort of enact this by passing the Energy, Climate Change, and Economic Security Act of 2008. This act, however, wasn't enacted and passed in the legislature until 2010, but it had the goal of having a recycling rate of 75% in our state. And they wanted to do this by 2020 with interim goals every 2 years. They had a 40% goal in 2012, a 50% goal in 2014, 60% by 2016, and 70% by 2018. Now, we were able to meet our interim goals for 2012 and 2014. However, we were not able to meet it for 2016, and in fact, in 2018, we saw that our goal was at 49% rather than that 70% mark that we should have been at. So one of the many reasons that this phenomenon may have occurred is simply because all of the counties in Florida have different standards, regulations for recycling than any other one. And that's why it's really important for Floridians to know in their county what their set of specifications and standards for recycling are. Because an issue is a lot of counties, while they do have strict specific standards, a lot of the big ones, which are the ones who are collecting the most amount of trash and recycled materials, don't. Orange County, since I want to focus on that since that's where we are based out of, is one of the culprits of this. Little fun fact for you, at the landfills in the Orange County Waste Management Program, there is an 85% rejection rate, which, to simplify that means 85% of recyclable materials, recycled collections, batches that go into the Orange County landfill are actually rejected. And what that means is that within the recycled batches that the Orange County landfill is receiving, it means that there's a contaminated material in them, which means that there was a material in there that is not meant to be recycled, or someone didn't take the lid off the bottle, or a plastic container wasn't rinsed out, or whatever guideline of recycled materials was violated and wasn't properly done. And so what they do is they consider that batch contaminated. So they just take the whole thing and they either throw it in the dump or incinerate it. And, you know, it's pretty frustrating because, you know, the landfill employees, it's not their, you know, they're not going to sort through your batches. They're just going to dump it because, you know, they just say like they don't have time, or, you know, it's not their responsibility. And it isn't, it's ours. We should be recycling our materials properly. But, you know, the Orange County Waste Management Programs are very frustrated by this because they don't want to just keep building landfills. They do want to recycle our materials properly. But, you know, there's two issues as to why this might not be happening. The first is that, you know, Florida counties, they're very lax on not recycling properly and the consequences of such. And also, people just don't know. People aren't educated properly on what needs to be recycled, what materials need to be recycled. They just don't know. And the Orange County landfill people and waste management programs, they don't blame the people, they blame the government for not properly, you know, teaching them and not properly enforcing recycling. And so, you know, recently, Orange County Waste Management Program, or landfill, I believe, they received $200,000 in funding to start educational programs to educate the people properly. And, you know, this shouldn't just be Orange County, it should be counties all over Florida, because we don't want to keep, you know, not being able to conserve and preserve our lands and just keep building landfill upon landfill. And, you know, all of a sudden Florida is a mountainous region. It shouldn't be that way at all. People need to be educated, but, you know, they shouldn't have to spend 2 hours on the internet to find out what they need to properly recycle. So sort of to, you know, conclude this video, I'm going to share with you guys some tips and tricks from the Orange County Waste Management Program and how to properly recycle so that we can help them cut their rejection rate in half, and that we can also properly recycle and properly take care of our planet. Thanks. Bye.
One of the ways Orange County works to help people remember what can be recycled is through a program called the Think 5 program. Through this program, you're able to remember the 5 main things that can be recycled, such as paper, glass, metal, cardboard, and plastic. Another fun fact is, there are a lot of things that seem to be common to think of as recyclable, but are actually not. These things include pizza boxes, plastic bags, tires, hoses, and another multitude of things. It's also important to remember that when you recycle your materials, to rinse them out, especially food items, as food waste cannot be recycled. If you ever have any wonder on what can be recycled, feel free to visit the Orange County website and it will be all listed there for you.